Hi, everybody. Welcome back to this next session of how happiness and health go hand in hand. In this session, we're going to learn about one of the four main happiness hormones called serotonin. You're going to learn ways to identify how you're low in them and ways to increase them. So before we get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Chris Lindsay. I am a certified Happy for No Reason trainer, and I help people who are struggling with indecision or uncertainty move forward with their life with clarity and living a happier and more fulfilling life. It's my absolute joy and passion to help you live a life of inner peace and happiness and the abundance that you are so worthy of. So, let's dive in. So, did you know that happiness and health are linked? There's so much research around how happiness affects our health and how our health affects our happiness. So today we're going to talk about the beginning stages of, do you have the biochemistry for happiness? And how do you know? So there's four main neurotransmitters that the kind of the happy juice, four main happy hormones. The first one we're going to talk about today in this session is serotonin. And you've probably heard of serotonin. Serotonin is often what antidepressants activate or increase. The SSRI is serotonin receptors and increases our serotonin in our body. That's what makes us feel a little bit more calm, a little bit happier if we're struggling in that way. But there are ways that you can do it naturally as well. So let me pull up my slides and share that with you. So if you need a pen or you need to grab some paper or something to write on, you might want to take a couple of notes with this because this is interesting information. So there we go. Happiness and health go hand in hand. Yes, they do. Here's the amazing thing. We have over 100,000 chemical reactions happening in our body every second. Our body is a pharmacy of things happening there. The four main neurotransmitters that have to do with happiness, there are many, but these are the four main and probably the most well-known ones. The first one is serotonin, which we're going to talk about today, endorphins, which you've probably heard about before, oxytocin, and dopamine. So we're going to start with serotonin today and dive into that a little bit more. So serotonin is, again, like I said, it's often associated with antidepressants. It is called the calming hormone. It gives you a sense of calm. If you're low in serotonin, you might be feeling anxiety. You could have negative thoughts like obsessive or excessive negative thoughts. You could get easily irritable with things. Chronic pain. Pain is associated with low serotonin, memory issues. And here's something that's important. Sugar is the main robber of serotonin. So sugar depletes our serotonin levels. So think about that when you're thinking about your health and you're thinking about your diet and building those nutrient building blocks in our diet, watching the sugar and watching the carbs, and not to say that it's low carb or no carb or that kind of thing, but typically in our society we eat too many carbs, and carbs turn into sugar ultimately. So we want to get healthy carbs, right? We want to get carbs from our vegetables and that type of thing, and not so much from like breads and pastas and things of the like, because sugar depletes serotonin levels. If you're feeling high or normal on serotonin, you feel more flexible, like you're just more easygoing. You have a more positive outlook. Things don't upset you so much. They don't trigger you so much. Everything's just kind of going with the flow, right? That's where we want to be. We want to be calm and just going with the flow through life. So ways to increase serotonin is to get out in the sunlight. So think about this. We these days everybody's wearing sunglasses that block the UVA and UVB rays, right? Which are good to protect our eyes in general, right? But we're not getting the amount of serotonin that we need in our brain. We often get that through sunlight. So another way to do that is through exercise and eating foods that contain tryptophan. And I think that one's interesting as well, because you think about that at Thanksgiving, you think about turkey and that whole tryptophan thing and how it makes you tired, right? Well, it makes you calm. It makes you calm. So there's lots of foods out there. You can Google foods that increase tryptophan, because that's also going to increase serotonin. So if you have times where you're feeling like, you know what, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling negative, or I'm irritated, or whatever, it might be lean on, you know what, it might be have a little bit of turkey in your salad. Look for foods that increase tryptophan. But I want to share with you a sunning practice, and this is a way to do this. So it's sitting out in the sun a couple of times a day for just a few minutes, right? And taking your glasses off with your eyes closed and facing the sun, and allowing the sun to go through your eyelids. And what that's going to do is activate the pineal gland in your brain, and it's going to increase serotonin. So it's important to get that, that sun in your face with your eyes closed. Don't want to look at the sun. Do some deep breathing. It's a great time to do some deep breathing and get calm and get grounded, and allow that sun to go through your eyelids, go through your optic nerves to your brain, and it stimulates your body to produce serotonin. The interesting thing about serotonin as well is that serotonin is the building block for melatonin. So if you're having challenges with sleep, which is so important to your health and your health goals, you may not be getting enough serotonin in order to make melatonin. So they go hand in hand. So the more serotonin you get, the more melatonin you get, which also helps you sleep at night. A great example of that is, have you ever gone to the pool or the beach all day, right? And you're out in the sun all day, and you're exposed to that. And in the evening, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. You've just gotten a massive amount of serotonin, which also gave you melatonin as well. So I hope that that's helpful. That's a great little tip to build serotonin in your body. And just a reminder, if you haven't seen this come up yet, for anyone that is in this program, anyone that's learning about health and happiness and how they're linked, I'm offering you this free gift. It's a coaching session, and it's kind of like, you know what, if there's something on your mind, if you could change one thing in your life to make you feel happier, let's talk about that. And I'll just kind of take you through a process. If you haven't done coaching before, you're like, I don't know, that just feels weird, I don't know what to expect. Here's what it is, really. Coaching is kind of the opposite of therapy. It's not like that. We don't need to dig into your old stories, that whole thing. There's a place for that. This is kind of meeting you where you are today, to say, okay, what's going on with you today? Where do you want to get? I'll help you get clarity on where do you want to be with that, and why, and what are steps to get you there. It's a very laid back, casual conversation. I'd love to meet you via Zoom and do that. So if that's something you're interested in, you can take a screenshot of this slide right now, or grab your phone and take a picture of that QR scan, and that will take you to my website. The name of my website is BULiveHappy.com, and you can reach me at Chris@BULiveHappy. You can find me on social media stuff. So hope to see you there, and I look forward to that. And our final quote from today's session is, happiness is an inside job. So when we're talking about health and happiness, it's about about building and cultivating that inner sense of joy and inner sense of feeling healthy, because there are a gazillion studies that say that when you're healthy, you're happier, and when you're happier, you're healthier. So I look forward to seeing you next time and hope this was helpful. Would love to hear your comments or feedback as you watch this video, and see if there's something you have a takeaway or an aha moment about. Thanks. Bye-bye.